It was like Venezuela bad, socialism never worked. Literally the worst debate performance from D I've ever seen. This is why I'm so frustrated with like this fucking platform. I called this motherfucker out like years ago, and I just got his community just been relentlessly harassed me for the longest time because of it. And it pains me that I have to say this now because I've been saying this for literal years, but everyone called me like some like jealous person, or like I'm just not like I'm a grifter or something, when I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being the one that calls out these asshole dudes and then I don't get any credit for it. I just get harassed for it, and then later on everyone's like, this is a personal complaint more than anything. I don't know why I'm the only one that seems to be like saying this shit on the left. I'm not really sure why it's so cool and fun and trendy and like such a wholesome fucking like afternoon activity to debate a Nazi or a transphobe or something. I just don't understand, man. I just really don't fucking understand. But the view count, don't you want 4,000 people to watch you platform Nazis? That's what I mean. It's like, people call me a grifter, and then the other people do that, and that's like, oh, that's super praxis or something? I don't understand. Okay, Alden's Law. You're not bringing people back from the right. You're not pulling people from the right when you are also promoting transphobia and you're also promoting fascism and racism. Like, let's be very, very, very honest about what this person is. This isn't a person that is representing anything but the right. They are a milder right-winger. That's what they are. They're not outright like hailing Hitler, and they're pushing back on some like misogyny and you know, some things where it's akin to like Elon Musk giving money to it like a charity, that you think that he's somehow better than the other guy that's not doing that. Like let's be very, very accurate what this person is. For a lot of people, debates change their minds, unfortunately. Who are these people? Who are these people? Guy. And at the end, there isn't a significant amount of people leaving one community and going to another. I think that debates aren't changing people's minds. Right? Why are these communities just getting bigger when they do debates? How is that possible? If they're changing minds, how come they're getting bigger and no one's like leaving the communities typically? There's like a couple people here or there, but I'm not willing to say that like creating more popular, more likable fascists, but saving 2 of them along the way is worthy of any sort of like, I don't think that's a worthy fucking tactic. I think that somehow their presence and their following makes them something that we necessarily need to find good in. You don't have to find good in a transphobe that's promoting trans panic murders. I don't know if you know what those are, but that's murdering trans people because you didn't know they were trans and then you got spooked by their genitals or something like that. You don't actually have to continue to be like, well, I'd rather them go follow that person than another person. Okay, let me ask you this, Alden's Law. Who's another person on this platform with a large community that's more fascist? I'll wait. And no, don't give me a gamer. Give me a political streamer, because we're talking about political streamers. Find a community that's large, as large as this community is. That community that we're talking about, but more fascist. Yeah, and that would also might make sense if they're only option available, but there are presently so many other alternatives on the left to watch. Like me, for instance. Why do I have to have a lower viewer count because you need to promote a fascist because you think that they're like the only other option? Again, I'm waiting. If you think this is like a necessary thing that we need to pull people. What other political stream is larger than or is equally largish but is more fascist than theirs? Because if it turns out that they're the most fascist one, then they're not pulling people anywhere from anything. They're creating shit. These used to be really big ones on YouTube. I've asked around. I bring this up because I think it's a problem that people's minds are suddenly changed because they watched a debate. I get really skeptical about those people. It's like, you no longer hate me because you saw a debate. From my perspective, if you think, because your mind typically doesn't work like this, but if you think your mind flipped and you no longer you're used to be a Nazi, then you watch one fucking half-hour debate and now you're no longer a Nazi. All I know is that you were an incredibly malleable fucking person. That it just takes the right charisma and the right stage presence, and then all of a sudden you're just changing your mind. These are not like well constructed arguments typically that are presented in these types of debates. They are fucking tricks. It's internet trickery. It's charisma and fast talking and like quick taglines and like always. There's a reason why these debates typically lean when the people are doing these. I'm not talking about Richard Wolff, by the way. I'm talking about like the typical debate people. They lean on certain types of certain rhetorical tricks. One very common way that these debates go is that debate dude, typically, let's be real, doesn't really know a lot about everything. Like they can't know everything, right? They just can't. So what they do is they try to take these like arguments approach these topics, and then shift them and like squeeze them down into little like things that they can handle.
Thank you.
So if they can talk about any topic and find a way to take that topic and translate it into a conversation about determinism, or translate into discussion of like grounding your moral axioms and the complete like ambiguity of like a moral axiom or something. If they can find a way to take that and shift it or to vuvuzuela, then that's the tactic that happens. It's not actually an actual demonstration of like legit knowledge typically, or any sort of like good faith interaction. A good faith interaction would not rely on these rhetorical tricks. I'm beautiful, thank you. Would they let fascists on Twitch? I mean, apparently, if they have a big enough following, they'll just remove their sub button. Right? The only time that I would ever walk into a room with one other person and I'd be like, they're incorrect about everything and I'm correct about everything, is if I'm probably talking to a fascist. Right? If I'm talking to a fascist. Somebody who has like literally nothing to offer, that I can't possibly even say that was a good point to anything they say. I find that those types of interactions, like I said, they necessarily have to be with fascists, and I don't want to talk to a fascist, actually. I actually think that that's a bad thing to do. First of all, it's not safe for many people. It's not safe for me. It's just not safe for me to even talk about certain fascists on this platform, even to say their name. It puts a target on my back, and I've dealt with that a lot. But not only that, like, I just don't think that it should happen. I don't think we should be having public conversations with fucking fascists in which we air their views and give them a platform and necessarily create more like fans of their perspective. There's no way that you're every single fucking debate, no matter how bad the arguments are presented on any side, that side with the bad arguments is going to create more fans. More people can be like, oh, okay, because they just want to see representation. They just the same way that Kamala Harris, although she sucks, she's a black woman and that's representation and that does something. That's what I mean, representation. That type of representation where a minority is represented. When I say minority here, I don't mean like a minority. I mean like in terms of like their presence on like Twitch is very, very scant because, hopefully, Twitch won't allow that type of shit. So what are we going to do? We're going to search and find even the small, like the fewest any fascists we can find and always provide them a platform. Did you know there's people on this platform that are like Trump supporters, they're fascists, and they have communities because they are always the fascist that gets asked to show up to panels. Like there's many panel debates, like I know Raj Royale does this shit, and like other streamers, where they'll platform like shitty people because they always want to have that different side, and because they can't find that many fucking say fascists, that they will find like, if they can, you know, pretend they can't, which I don't think they can. I think it's not as easy, but they will find like the same one over and over and over again. And it's not, they don't platform them because they think that these ideas need to be platformed or need to be pushed back on. They platform them purely from an entertainment perspective, purely for a pure, you know, content mining perspective, a clip mining perspective. I really don't understand why I still have to keep talking about this, because I thought people were smart enough to understand that platforming shitty people is actually a bad thing. Like, it's actually a bad thing. But don't you think if even one person changes their view, it helps? If one person changes their view, but then thousands of people feel empowered with their views, why are we cheering? Why are we so excited for the one person? If we're going to talk about numbers here, we can't say 40,000 people watch this and then say if only one changed their mind. Because now we're pointing at, look at the big number, and then we're ignoring numbers for the sake of focusing on the individual. You have to also look at the other side of things, which is some of these streamers, for instance, I would argue Destiny's career is predicated upon him having debates with people. It's predicated upon having debates. So if you think about that, and that's not the only person. There's people that their entire presence, their entire fascist presence on this platform is because they are involved in these debates. And without these debates, without someone to like argue up against, they really don't have like much relevance. And the idea that they are because I'm not debating people, I think is a pretty fucking garbage white dude thing. That the world can't change when you're not, you know, like having a dick measuring contest. Look, my dick's bigger. Oh, if your dick's bigger, I guess I'm not a Nazi anymore. I don't think that that's the primary way that people's minds are changed. And again, I will point to the fact that, do you think Destiny's community is smaller now? Do you think its community is smaller? Hello, no? No? Do you think it's bigger? Yeah, it's probably bigger. So, if we have somebody that is, say, making garbage fascist arguments, and another person, a professor, who is very clearly and very, like, effectively explaining their perspective, and then the fascist guy gets more popular and more relevant, I don't think this is a good approach to leftism. I don't think this is a good approach to anything. But by and large, you're just feeding into the theatrics of everything. I feel bad you have to talk about it. Sorry, BB. Thank you. It's very sweet. It's just, everything's fine and good because we share communities and we want to build each other up with our view counts and money, money, money. Clout, clout, clout. And it's again, this is why I'm like, when I see Lance that like goes ahead and platforms Destiny, it feeds into this idea that like ultimately it's not about values or like abusive figures or any of this. It feels like it's ultimately just about like first and foremost views, and then secondary the actual values, and it frustrates me. I don't think Lance is a bad guy, for the record. This is the reason why I try to stay away from like a lot of people on this platform. Been good vibes everywhere. But me, I'm the bad vibe because I show up and say, I don't think toxic, abusive men are good. I don't think you should platform like fascists. I don't think you should platform transphobes. I don't think you should firstly put your clout and view count and then secondary, values. And now I'm the bad person. I'm the drama. I'm the drama mill. You kind of have to use your fucking brain. That's kind of part of being a leftist, is not having the world served up to you and be like, this is a fascist guy. This is a bad thing. You're supposed to fucking figure it out, man. It's why you're not the establishment. It's why you are not the status quo. Man, No, I did not see it, and I'm not planning on seeing it either. We talked about it earlier and briefly, and I was just expressing less of an opinion about the debate, like the content of the debate, and more about like my disappointment that anybody would do that, anyone would platform that anyone would like. Do you think that Destiny's community is smaller now? Do you think he's like, if you're the marketplace of ideas with all debates and shit, if that actually mattered, then arguably Destiny's community should be like dwindled to literally nothing at this point, because most people, the people that saw that he failed dramatically, and that shouldn't necessarily mean that they're not fans of his anymore, right? Because the marketplace of ideas. But no, that didn't happen. I would argue his community probably got larger, which makes me think that debates isn't actually helping to push back against the fascists. Yes, Barrowhawk, it's just disappointing to me. Yeah, I was embarrassed that Wolff's exposure to Twitch politics was destiny. And that's the thing. It's like, people keep framing this as, well, we have to support this guy because he's de-radicalized people. Like, there's no other political streamers except one asshole. Like, there's no other political streamers except a person who's like literally had their sub button removed because they're so fascist. This is a more patriarchy for you, that people insist that there's no other way that anything on Twitch could ever function if it wasn't for a white guy with a fucking following. It's very fucking frustrating. I also don't think that people's minds are being changed by these things. And everyone's like, well, what if one mind was changed? Great. And at what cost? Thousands are reinforced with their garbage because meme, fast talking, little like debate fucking trick. Fucking annoyed by this entire platform right now. I'm actually really disappointed that my community keeps coming in here being like, did you catch the debate? I saw it. It's almost like when I talk about things that like you fuckers don't even listen, which is, you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to, but it just makes me feel kind of powerless. Like, what's the point of me talking here? But apparently I'm supposed to think it was really good because a ton of people saw Richard Wolff on the screens and he said words. Yeah, so that means that Destiny's community is smaller now, right? Because now they're all educated, right? Right? I feel so ashamed that like Richard Wolff thinks that this is the extent of Twitch politics now.
Right. Are we all going to Mars now? Martian
like this, Richard Wolff is such a great person, and this is he gets thrown into like the Jersey Shore of the politics on Twitch, and now like he's like, wow, okay. Yeah, they actually did use boxing matches. Yeah. And this is also why, thank you very much, Divine, for the 200 bits. I appreciate it. This is why I hate those panel shows too. Because it's always like, here's a Jew and here's a Nazi. Here's a trans person and a transphobe. You know, well, content. It's content. And that's all they are. That's literally all they are. There are fascists on this platform that literally their whole following, all of the relevance exists because of those shows. Because they're always the fascist you call to have the fascist guy to balance everything out. Like there needs to be balancing there. Like that needs a fucking balance. I'm sorry, but I tried watching the debate and I couldn't get past through the first 15 minutes. And Chad here will hate me for it, but it's because Richard Wolff will not stop ranting without actually coming to a concrete point while not allowing. I'm amazed that somebody said that out loud with no self-awareness. I couldn't get past the first 15 minutes because Richard Wolff would not stop ranting without coming to a concrete point while not allowing. What? How could you get anything? How could you even see that? How could you see someone continually ranting with never coming to a concrete point over 15 minutes of a conversation? How is that even possible? And Richard Wolff literally never rants. He's a rant. He's not a ranter. Like you're just weird. Also, the absurdity of a person saying that Richard Wolff wouldn't let somebody else get a word in. You're talking about destiny here. Who like one party isn't allowed to talk a lot and rant and to like not let somebody else get a word in. If that were true, which Richard Wolff rarely, he's an incredibly like courteous person. If that were true, if he actually was acting like that, then why aren't you upset with Destiny? That's his whole thing. Is it only bad when Richard Wolff does thing? Shut up! Ugh. Yeah, Wolff spoke most of the time because the D moron doesn't present ideas. He just asks questions to looking for anything to nitpick. Oh. Aren't they both socialists? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, Richard Wolff is a literal fucking professor. If you're mad that how dare you? How dare you get fucking mad that Richard Wolff, who's someone who I admire highly, talks and you're like, he talked. I hope he talked the whole time. That would be the best type of fucking conversation with Destiny. That's it. The fact that you're mad, like, you should be grateful he showed up at all, man. It's a treat that he's there. Do you not care that this man he's a really incredible fucking person. He's probably the most famous professor that represents the leftist perspective right now. And you're like mad that he talked too much? Go fuck yourself, man. I mean, he should realize that a debate is not a lecture. Oh my god, you're such a fucking loser. You're such a fucking loser, dude. Christ.
While Destiny has hundreds of hours, people can hear him talk his shit. Yet people bitch about Richard Wolff talking for several minutes.
Somebody talking and sharing leftist perspective while another person just sits back and waits for times to jump in but can't find many times to jump in because he's actually garbage. You shouldn't be mad at the person that's providing the education. You should be mad at the person whose entire fucking career is predicated upon waiting for times to jump in and berate somebody. Yeah, the irony, Bunny, is that Stalin is stated to have said you cannot debate fascists. Sartre, I never know how to say that guy's name, Sartre, explains further that anti-Semites in particular use flawed arguments and irrationality on purpose. Yes, I love that from Sartre, I forgot how I was saying his name, but yeah, his thing about anti-Semites and how their rhetoric, how they approach things, yeah, it's 100% on point. It's not just anti-Semites, it's any sort of fascist. This is why I'm against this entire debate bro culture. So this is why it's even more disappointing to see my own viewers that were like, did you catch it? Because I caught it. See what I mean, chat? If Destiny's fucking viewer count doesn't decrease, but in fact increases to make it even more absurd, then you know that these debates don't fucking do shit. They don't. If the marketplace of ideas worked, then he would not have a fucking viewership after that debate. But boy, oh boy, look what happened. If this worked, then Jordan Peterson wouldn't have a viewership. Tim Pool wouldn't have a viewership. It's almost like the fascists use this as their bread and butter for how they build and maintain communities. Holy fuck, why is this such a big topic? And that's ultimately what it comes down to. Then now I have to talk I'm talking about this for now hours and no other conversation. I was in the middle of talking about the patriarchy and now we're back on this stupid fucking topic of white men that are arguing with other white men. And isn't it good that fascists is doing this? Isn't it good that fascists, you know, the nuance of the fascists arguing with the socialist professor? Wolff was literally just explaining basic Marxist materialism, but everyone was like, why is he talking about feudalism? Why is that relevant? You know what's relevant more so than feudalism? Grounding your moral axioms in an abstract conversation about determinism with a ball rolling down a hill. These are far more relevant, chat. Feudalism, that's not exactly capitalism. That's not exactly socialism. You know what's far more relevant? Ball roll downhill. How does this mean? Does this mean I get to be racist or not? Do I get to say the N-word now?
Asking this button. Yikes, here is a funny Twitter link to change
for my stream. Yeah, we should just politely debate the police. They also don't understand that politeness and civility is something that the fascists have. The fascists can do that because they can politely corral you into a train while you're hysterically trying to resist because you don't want to be trained. You want to be fucking carted away to a fucking like Auschwitz. But you're being so polite with your suits and your symmetrical fucking like buildings and like your order and all your hailings at the same time with your niceties and your cup of tea while you sip and talk about all the genocide things you want to do that day, but not in front of the women because that's not very civil. The civility of the fascists is a very well-known thing. It's because they have the ability to be civil, because they have power. Do you think they were civil when they were doing their beer hall fucking rants? When Hitler was doing those beer hall rants? When they were brown shirting up and trying to like muscle the cops into submission? None of that was civil. But it's when they get the power that all of a sudden they have the civility. And now I can't believe you're not civil as I sit here and promote fascism. Civility is garbage. Anyone who's trying to argue that you need civility, usually there might be an exception that I'm not understanding, but by and large, when someone's saying you're not civil, it's because they have no argument. All they can do is just argue that you're not being polite in this conversation where I'm trying to remove human rights. This is 100% that, yeah, the D asterisk fans. This is a 100% what they are. This is why I'm astounded that anyone's like, wait, what's wrong with, are you saying that, why are you saying he's a fascist? You're confusing popular and potentially civil maybe with not fascist or something? Like, how is this even, if any of my viewers are still questioning if that person is a fascist or not, I don't know how long you've been in my community for. Like, I wonder if you've been here for a really long time or if you just found me. Because if you just found me, it's one thing. But if you've been here for a while, how is this happening with your brain? How is this happening? Yeah, thank you, Husker. I think my fuse is like exceptionally short today. So I can't even speak very well. I think I need to take like a half a day. The guy on the right seems very calm and reasonable. Yeah, he sure does, doesn't he? I feel bad too because I'm not trying to pick fights with people right now, but invariably that's what happens. When somebody goes around just spouting fascist shit or platforming fascists for views, that's considered fine and not drama filled. But if I criticize that, especially as a woman, that's drama. And now I'm toxic. So. Okay, chat. I hear you telling Grumpy Flat to Google fascism. I don't think that's a really good approach. Because what happens? Okay, let me do it. Let me Google fascism. I'm going to do what probably an idiot would do. Fascism definition. Let's see. Political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation, often race, above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. That's actually not a bad argument or a bad definition. This is actually not a bad definition at all. A tendency toward or actual exercise of strong autocratic or dictatorial control. This is what most idiots think fascism is. My mom took away my PS4. Wow, she's such a fascist. You banned me for a different opinion? That's fascism, just like the Nazis. It's amazing because they think that, would that mean that the Jews had a different opinion? Is that how you measure opinions, with calipers? I just don't see how Destiny is fascist in any way. Okay. Then you are a Destiny fan? Is that fair to say? No, I'm not. Okay, then why are you actually talking about this person then? If you don't watch their content, then why would you be so concerned that somebody knows more about somebody's content that you don't know because you're not even a fan? In what way is he fascist? You were talking about him. So? You said, I just don't see how he's fascist in any way. That implies that you have a thorough knowledge of this person. What is wrong with you? If I said any person, Joe Schmo McGee 321 is fascist, I just don't see how he's fascist in any way. Are you a fan of his? No, I've never seen his content. I just don't see how that's not a comment that somebody makes. It means that you watch this person's content and that you are concerned that we are making outrageous claims. He's not a Destiny fan. He just says Destiny fan properties. That's actually what, no one's a Destiny fan. They all show up and they're never Destiny fans, but they defend him and they watch him and they subscribe to him. So, you know, let that sink into your fucking brain. Oh, they actually have a fucking, they actually have a, oh my God. They actually have a rational wiki. The rioting needs to fucking stop. If that means white redneck militia dudes mowing down dipshit protesters that think they can torch buildings at 10 p.m. At this point, they have my fucking blessing. Holy shit, this shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. He also defends, oh my God, I'm done. I don't know why I'm doing this. I hate this. I hate today so much. I hate today so much, chat. I hate that I'm like, this is like such an embarrassing thing that my life has become this, that I'm actually having a stupid fucking conversation with a bunch of, not the rest of chat, but a few of them, dipshits that are obsessed with worshiping a man that they just continually go, I'm not a fan of his. 10 p.m. is such a weird time to be upset about. It also implies that there is an appropriate time to torch buildings. Yeah, like, is 9 p.m. okay? If you're transphobic, you're definitely a fascist. Also, this is the thing, again, women don't get this. Minorities don't get this. It's white men. Because people assume that white men are necessarily supposed to have fame and fortune and relevance. So when they have that, we all go, how do we work with that idea? How do we manage to grapple with that? How do we make sense? Just fucking throw it away. You don't have to fucking care about this. You don't have to fucking involve yourself in this person. But how's the left going to survive if this singular white man doesn't constantly get attention? I don't know. I can't believe it's even... I'm like so fucking upset right now. I'm so fucking upset right now. I'm also super tired, and when I'm really tired, I get upset like hyper easily. Get another coffee? I don't think I can. I think I'm just dumb today. Fuck me, I did not know he was so terrible. But here's the thing. Why is it always that there needs to be these big exposure, like they need to get exposed, you need to like consolidate all their shit into like a page? Don't you fuckers have any sense of like, don't you have like a radar for this shit? Like, is there have to be like a Me Too fucking moment all the time for these white dudes with status? You gotta stop assuming that every white guy in the internet is an angel until otherwise fucking, until like otherwise proven. And when I say proven, I mean like something monumentally, like they have to straight up say, I think murdering protesters for Black Lives Matter is a good thing. Like, short of them, that's the tip of the iceberg. And by the way, when I say you should assume they're all like angels, I'm not saying you should always assume they're bad people. But I mean, assuming that they're like this angel, like some force of greatness, and until they straight up go, I actually like Hitler, then you're like, wait, where'd this come from? I can't believe this. Wait, they actually said that. This blows my mind. It shouldn't blow your mind. Pick up on these fucking clues. Because when you're not, you're fucking making the world a worse place. The people are like, wow, well, that's one thing he did bad. And then you start seeing them as things, one statement, one thing, without understanding that this is a person in their entirety that you should see just from their candor, just from the way that they interact with people. There's something up there. If I watch a stream, it's very obvious who are fucking bad people, who are toxic people. It's kind of like built into their fucking personality. Now, it doesn't always mean, it's not always as cut and dry, but when it is, when it fucking is, and you still ignore it because you're like, I just don't know. I think these are good people. You are fundamentally broken. And you should listen to people like me who are telling you this, because this is an important lesson. I know that none of you are going to do this. All the people who need to hear this are never going to hear it. They're just getting mad, and they're just clipping stuff and complaining in someone's Discord. Hey, Kevin, what's up? How's your week been? It's been whatever. How are you? Most streamers are toxic these days. Most of them I would say are, I don't know if most, but the large ones are typically engaging in toxic shit. And if I'm engaging in toxic shit, I want you to call me out on it. And I'm going to try, that's why I try to be reflective of like the things that I'm in, like if I am involved in toxic shit, I don't want to be, but I'm receptive to that instead of just like, you know, sending all my drones to attack people that speak ill of me anywhere in the internet. Like that's the extent of like some of these communities. Have you noticed that? Like I said, women never really have an issue with this idea. If I tell a woman, hey, this dude's abusive, they'll go, okay, I'm no longer gonna like involve myself with them. And that's it. Men, well, we share a lot. We roll in the similar circles, and I don't want, our communities have a lot of crossover, and like I don't want it to affect my sub goal. And you know, maybe you were a little toxic yourself. You could have been a little hysterical. That's what men do. Well, maybe that was the one time you said that. Maybe you took him out of context. Maybe he's done a lot of good, actually. I think he's done a lot of good. I knew a Nazi that's no longer a Nazi. I mean, he's advocating for murdering black people, but he's not a Nazi per se, so I think that's men. Women don't do this. And yes, there's exceptions here or there on both sides. But boy, oh boy, is there a fucking trend. Men really need to develop a goddamn barometer for noticing toxic dudes. And I think your brain is so clouded with, wow, his dick is big. Wow, look at this guy. His dick is big. Because that's, you think you admire assholes who do toxic masculinity. You gotta stop doing that. I barely function today. I feel like I'm drunk. Listen, chat, a lot of people are saying shit in the chat right now. I don't want to comment on particular content creators. I just have to say that if you're platforming fascists as a source of entertainment, I have a really big problem with that. I'm genuinely wondering, when we watch Jordan Peterson and we make fun of what he's saying, we criticize what he's saying, and we expose him for being like a shitter. I like to think that that's distinct from platforming like fascist streamers in a debate. But maybe it's not that different. It could be the same. What do you think? I'm actually wondering, because you know, I try to do the best I can, and I don't feel comfortable judging others if I'm not held to the same standard. It's like when I talk, or any of us talk about politics, we are necessarily giving oxygen to certain people or certain ideas, and you're hoping that it'll help to push back against them, but also you are providing them oxygen. But on the other hand, there are a lot of fascists whose entire fucking existence and popularity is dependent upon them debating people. And and it's not even like sharing their ideas. It's fast talking and talking over people and quick little gotchas. And it's nothing that's actually representative of any sort of like concrete, empathetic, like human perspective. It's like just fascist rhetoric. I don't want to do that either. So I think I don't know. I'm trying to find a sweet spot, but I do think that debate streams are not the sweet spot. I think they are absolutely not the sweet spot. Yeah, wait, yeah. I would like to see what result you're talking about. Like, is Destiny's community dwindling in numbers? Or what? Because if you think that debates change people's minds, then necessarily his community should be getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, if it is, it is. But, like, I don't think it is. I'm desperate. Imagine going to a BLM protest and everyone there is like, I wasn't going to go to protest. And then I saw a Destiny debate and now I'm here protesting for Black Lives Matter. That's literally nobody. That's not one person. If we lived in a meritocracy, people have left density behind long ago. Yeah, so people need to stop. Again, if these debates changed minds, then why aren't the communities with the shitty ideas getting smaller? What you're doing when you're saying that debates change people's minds is you're subscribing to the marketplace of ideas, which is a stupid alt-right perspective. Yes, thrashing, true. Yes. Yeah, Norm, exactly. Yeah, we don't need protesters think Rittenhouse did nothing wrong. Exactly. He did get people to help canvass or whatever during election time. Elon Musk gave $1 million to his brother's charity. So you gotta give him credit for that. God, when white men do anything marginally good, people love to immortalize it and bring it up as a counterpoint. All the time, forever. In the meantime, there are people doing that for me? Nope. Nope. Missing the point. It's not about giving money. Did he not change people's minds enough to go there? I don't know. Did he? Prove to me that happened. Prove it. Also, I love this argument. It's okay to advocate for fascism so long as you organize a 5-person canvassing fucking crew. So that's what it takes. That's the payment. Excellent. Good to know. Good to know, chat. Good to know. This is the perspective of a normal and empathetic person. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up with your fucking defending fascists. Hey, let me ask you a quick question. Nuclear warrior, Kyle Rittenhouse. What do you think about that guy? What do you think about that guy? Kyle Rittenhouse, what do you think about him? Oh no, Kyle Rittenhouse. He's dumb? What do you mean he's dumb? That's actually not even what Kyle Rittenhouse is. I mean, sure, maybe. But how that's your big pushback against somebody who's a fascist that fucking murder people at a BLM rally? That's your answer? He's dumb? Man, he's just so dumb when he murders people. Hey, nuclear warrior. Do you realize how much I've been harassed by this community that you're describing? I would love it for you to explain to me why the person that we're talking about should take no responsibility for anyone that harasses on their behalf, but should take all the responsibility for any marginally good thing that comes out of his community. Please tell me the logic that makes that a reality. Do you not realize that this community harasses many people? That's kind of the whole fucking reason it exists, is that it's just that's all it does. Sorry, I don't know UR history. How are you aware of the history of this one streamer and you're defending them? And you're watching my stream, but you have no idea the connection between the two. It's already pretty telling that you don't fucking really think Kyle Rittenhouse is that big of a fucking deal. Like big of a deal. I don't mean like big deal. I mean, you don't think that murdering multiple people at a fucking BLM rally and having the cops publicly support him in doing so is anything but, it's dumb. It's disgusting. It's fascist. It's murder. It's racist. These are, any of these words would have been actually far preferable to dumb. The way, I think I've made my fucking point. That the toxicity and the garbage that comes out of these fucking streams. I don't care if someone was, I used to be a Nazi. Okay, now what are you? You're just an asshole that goes around shitting on fucking people that are trans, that are black. You debate how you want to say the N-word. Explain how you give credit to a streamer for like 5 people doing something maybe kind of sort of good, but then thousands of them not doing horrible things, and you just, there's nuance to that. Explain to me the nuance. I would love to hear the nuance. Leave. Just fucking leave. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out, idiot. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You're exactly what I think you are. You're a fucking fascist. You're a fucking fascist. But you're like one of those ones that is in denial that's never going to go super ham. So you just always want to be like the nice guy that never ruffles feathers. But if you're going to ruffle a feather, it's going to be ruffled. You're going to ruffle a Jew's feather or a trans person's feather. Or it's some minority's feather that's ultimately going to get ruffled on your behalf. But the whole time, you're not one of the bad ones. You're just one of those people that's reasonable, that sees that nuance, right? And you can't possibly explain it. No one could possibly understand the intricacies of the nuance that you understand. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. I am a Jew. Get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out. You're a fascist Jew? Jesus fucking Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, for the record, the person that they're standing, this Destiny person, is a streamer that thinks that Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong, that he's not a murderer, that he did the right thing, and that he encourages more people to do it. If you think anyone like that is a good guy, I think you can fuck off my stream right now. But the nuance! Fuck you! Literally fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. But he's a left. No. There's nothing left to anything about somebody who advocates for doing more Kyle Rittenhouse things. Jesus Christ. Nope. Don't. White guys get the best treatment on earth. Look at this shit in the chat. Now we're talking about Bastiat. Even though this, you gotta give him credit for that. You literally don't. Are you giving Biden credit for shit? Are you giving Pete Buttigieg credit for shit? Because you might as well do it. Why aren't you? Or maybe you are. Yeah, he's a fucking oil lawyer who defends the fossil fuel industry. But he's less bad. Shut up! You do not, in fact, gotta hand it to them. Only white guys get this treatment. Only white guys. Do you see anyone on the internet doing this shit for me? Holy shit, if I was a white guy, the world that I would live in, holy shit, the treatment I would get. What a goddamn fucking world that is. Yeah, Hitler was a vegetarian. You gotta hand it to him. Canvassing for a liberal is vastly more than most brain-dead Twitter lefties. hey, I'm going to think of this as we got to find the good in shit. I'm going to pluck a piece of corn out of shit. Look, this shit has a piece of corn. I could rinse this off and eat it. So that's better than this other shit. That's your world, man. Your world's shit. You're plucking corn out of shit. Cool world, bro. Fucking cool world, bro. Destiny's canvassing was a fucking joke. He just threw money at someone else who then went on to try to take over the DSA's efforts rather than just help them out. I literally know nothing about it. All I know is that whenever anyone criticizes Destiny, somebody goes, canvassing, he canvassed though. And they show like a photo of like 5 dudes. And that's supposed to be like the big thing that everyone needs to be like, oh, whoa, blah, blah, blah. So arguably, if I organize canvas, any canvas whatsoever, I like, am I in the clear? Can I fucking advocate for Nazis now or something? Can I like be openly like racist and like, is that how this works? Because I don't know about you, but I don't think of it as allowed to do this and allowed to do that. I think of that as, are you actually living according to your values? Not, do I do a good deed once every 5 years so I can keep talking about it people treat the canvassing like I have a black friend. You got to stop doing that. I was said all these racist things, but here's my black friend. You shut up. Prove to me there's only 2 genders, Lily Star. Prove to me there's only 2 genders. I want you to teach me and prove to me there's only 2 genders. Go. By the way, there's 3 genders, male, female. Like, do you see all these Destiny fans that have shown up, chat? Do you see how transphobic they are? I want you to think about that whenever people sit there and just try to like go, this person's great. This person's done so good. Yeah, isn't it great to create transphobia in the world? Yeah, it's such a good deed. I'm just gonna ban them. I don't care. I think Hassan's toxic as fuck too. That's just me though. I'm not commenting on the person. I don't want to say either way. I'm not trying to. I'm not pushing back or anything. I'm just gonna say I'm not here to talk about people. It's actually weird when I do. That's why I'm kind of uncomfortable that we spent so long talking about Destinies today. I really normally never do that shit, and it like, I mean, maybe I do. Chat, do you think I do that a lot? There's a lot of regulars here. It's pretty rare, right? It's not just me. Nope, okay. It's rare. Yeah, it is rare. Yeah. Okay, good. It's been a trend recently because of the assholes from DGG happening in all the lefties I watch. Oh my God, are you serious? But did you know one time he organized a thing, sort of? Kind of, maybe? This is what I mean, like, the hypocrisy, and this is a hypocrisy that's not just for this community, but it's prevalent across the reactionary mindset, which is always giving credit and never taking blame. Always taking credit and never taking blame. I noticed that after the debate, DGG is out in fucking force everywhere to shut down, harass, preemptively shut down anyone they think might even have the slightest chance of saying something negative about their dear leader. What a wonderful community. What a super cool community that should totally exist on this platform. Totally should exist on this platform, chat. It's great because they did maybe sort of kind of one marginally maybe good thing ever. So you can't, it's great. Awesome community. Love how they harass women and trans women constantly for making their daddy mad. And Thierva, I used to be like incredibly good friends with him. Like basically dating him. And I remember the appeal, but like, and that was like arguably when he was like not as horrific, but I think he's really fucking fallen downhill. I know, Gord, I agree. Yeah, Kogan. Christ. Motherfuckers like you will see Hitler that like kisses a baby on fucking camera and like pet scritches a dog. You're like, yeah, on one hand he's Hitler, on the other hand this awesome thing he did once, so I think that you should give him a break, and also shut up, he's better than a group that's not even here in the room. Yeah, the chat's been especially full of idiots since like one particular fascist flopped on their face in a recent debate with the socialist, and now the fascist community is running around Twitter or Twitch trying to harass anyone that is super not cheering them on and shit. So he's one of those guys that tries to sound smart by stringing together a bunch of formal sounding words, but it fails to actually deliver anything substantial to the conversation. I mean, like a pseudo intellectual debate, bro? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You understand characterizing Destiny as a fascist makes you seem sympathetic to the people I'm referring to, right? You mean non-fascists? Yeah, I'm sympathetic to non-fascists, to anti-fascists. I would love to see how this is going to be my downfall. Piece it together for me. I'm against fascists and I'm for anti-fascists. Now what? Yeah, he is a fascist though. Like, it's not even a debate. No, Carolina, he's a fascist. He supports Kyle Rittenhouse and he advocates for more Kyle Rittenhouses. 100% fascist. Also doesn't think slavery is inherently wrong. It's amazing. Hey, you can't enter a protest with a rifle and call self-defense. I don't agree with that take, but I don't think that qualifies as fascist. What's the minimum thing that somebody needs to do or say to qualify them as a fascist? Let's see. Let's see where the line is for you. Let's see where the line is for you. What's the smallest thing I need to do in your mind, qualify me as a fascist? You know, you're not going to score any points with Nazis if you keep calling them Nazis. Fuck! Am I going to make more Nazis hate me? Oh boy, if only I could be liked by the Nazis. You know, you're not going to score any points with Nazis if you keep calling them Nazis. Fuck! Am I going to make more Nazis hate me? Oh boy, if only I could be liked by the Nazis. If you have a right to defend yourself if attacked, blah, 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 blah. Okay. What is the most minimal thing last time I'm asking you, you're so fucking stupid. You're just really fucking stupid. I just want to make it very clear. We're all thinking it. Just get elephant in the room. We're all thinking it. All right. Huh. Whew. So I just had to say that. I feel better. We all think you're fucking stupid. Okay. Now, last chance. What is the most minimal thing I need to do to demonstrate to you that I am a fascist? I want to know where the line is for you between not a fascist and a fascist. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're waiting for somebody to tell me what's the minimal thing I need to do for them to see me as now officially fascist. Because if they don't think that advocating for the murder of BLM protesters by the police and those who are enthusiastic for the police, if you don't think that that's fascist, I want to know, what do you think makes a fascist person? Libs say we can't call it fascism until the ovens are fired up. Yes, basically, yeah. Yes, it's ridiculous. It's like, basically their like view of the world is when it's finally like officially like full blown end of the line fascism like you described, then they'll be, of course, never the victim. They'll be sitting on the sidelines and they'll go, oh my God, it breaks my heart to see that. This is a repeat of history. Now, oh, wow, we see a repeat. They just want to observe shit and never actually live in it. Because anyone who lives in a system that might put them in a fucking oven gives more fucks than the spectator to it. Do you think supporting the police in the current state makes you a fascist? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Duh. You need to literally say, I'm a fascist. I'm here to do with fascism, unless you're not, otherwise you're not a fascist. You have to be pro-government structure with dictatorial power. You have to be okay, so this is their opinion of minimal thing I need to do to demonstrate that I'm fascist. You would have to be pro-government structure with dictatorial power, forcible suppression. It's a far-right government system. There is a distinction between believing you have the right to defend yourself and being a fascist. Using the term fascist makes no sense in this context. What do I even say to that? Like, is it worth it? It's too much stupid to unpack. One, you're saying that Kyle Rittenhouse was just defending himself. Right? That's what you're saying. Which contrasts with what you said earlier, which is like that Kyle Rittenhouse is dumb, or no, that wasn't you. It was a different person. You basically don't agree with Kyle Rittenhouse doing what he did. But now you're saying he was defending himself. Which is an interesting, stupid, fucking fascist position. No wonder you think it's not fascist to think that. Because you think that yourself. But also, actually, that's the whole point. Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't defending himself. He was supporting whatever this forcible suppression, government structure with, I think, dictatorial power, which is not sufficient. It doesn't need to be fascist to have a dictator or dictatorial. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't have to have a dictator for fascism to happen. You really fucking don't. I promise you, you don't have to have a dictator. But I still don't see how Kyle Rittenhouse gunning down Black Lives Matter protesters and cops letting him go and actually supporting him and sending him funds and GoFundMe because they support what he did. I don't see how you don't think that that's fascist. What the fuck is that not forcible suppression? Supporting government structure according to your definition? If this is what you think fascism is, even according to your own definition, Kyle Rittenhouse is fascist, and therefore anyone supporting him is fascist. Okay, I've said what I said. I don't think this person's smart enough to understand what I said, but the rest of you get it, right? Kyle Rittenhouse was there to defend fascists, and you're saying it's self-defense? Yeah, he's self-defense from fascists, from anti-fascists.
The guy promotes killing protesters who are pleading to the world, please stop killing our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers. If you still support him after that, you are a fucking racist. Fuck you, fuck you,
fascist,
fuck you,
banned.
and go to hell. That is all.
Fascist banned. Thank you, Maverick. It's disgusting, yeah. This is what I mean. We're getting raided by a bunch of fascists, and I want to let you know that it's not. It's from one particular community. Yeah, it's their definition of fascism was shit. But I also want to say that even according to their definition, the person they're standing is a fascist. So they're wrong on 2 counts. Oh my fucking god, you're fucking pathetic, exhausting children. Jesus Christ, what a shitty fucking community. Like the worst fucking community on this platform, arguably.